Right now on Denver 7 News at 7 o'clock on Local 3, another community this morning is dealing with tragedy. 4 people killed at a medical center in Oklahoma.
Hug your loved ones closely and just don't take anything for granted.
We're hearing from a Colorado couple who was there and was able to escape alive.
Well, it looks so real. This virtual reality program is helping officers here in the Metro train for worst case scenarios.
And we are hanging on to every letter right now at the Scripps National Spelling Bee. One Colorado student remains.
This is unreal. I never expected to make it this far.
What Vikram Raju here is doing to prepare for the finals tonight after spelling the word Galea correctly to advance to the finals. He's in the top 50. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brian Sanders.
And what does Galea mean?
Yeah,
I got to know that too, right?
I have to use it in a sentence.
I'm Nicole Brady. Katie LaSalle here with a first look at the forecast warming up today. Katie.
Yes, statewide. Good morning, you guys. This Thursday, we're off to a clear start here across Colorado. You can see up near Glenwood Springs, not a cloud in sight. A little more cloud coverage over the far northeastern plains at this hour, but it's 50 degrees in Denver now. Winds nice and calm, sustained from the west just at 3 miles per hour. Quiet conditions across Colorado after yesterday's rain and snow. We are drying out and warming up back to the low to mid 70s for highs. A few storms possible mainly west and south of Denver. No risk of severe weather today, but more storm activity to round out this week, and we'll warm to the upper 70s, low 80s just in time for the weekend. Temperatures outside this morning were in the low 40s out to the reservoir, down through Chatfield and up into Firestone. Temperatures across the metro area will climb to the mid 50s right around 9 o'clock. It's pretty pleasant out there currently. 65 degrees and sunshine by noon, and warmer air across the state. 60s and 70s return to the mountains. We do have the chance for a few storms, especially tomorrow afternoon and evening. We'll talk more about risks of severe weather and the warm, dry weather expected for the weekend.
We have 2 problems down on 225 right now. One, we have this crash that's on the southbound side right at Yosemite, right there at the exit ramp to Yosemite. And then what's happening is the issue 2, as you can see from the camera over there. I was just rolling some tape here on the CDOT camera just a minute ago. And so these folks are exiting. They're trying to cut across. And see, like this guy getting over early, and this guy's going to do it too. And what they're doing is they're cutting in front of everybody here on that southbound side of I-225. So you do have the crash here. We should have the police showing up in just a little bit. There goes another one right there. Take a look at the drive times right now. About 20 minutes coming down from just after Parker Road on down to I-25. Overall, 20 to 25 minutes on that Aurora Drive. The rest of the drive pretty heavy in those usual spots like I-25 coming in from the north side, 270, and that drive on I-76.
This morning, Oklahoma investigators are looking for the motive behind our country's latest mass shooting. A Tulsa council member told a local news station the shooter may have been targeting a specific doctor at a local hospital. 4 people were killed and several others were hurt inside a physician's office building on the campus of St. Francis Health. Police say the shooter killed himself. We learned at least 1 Coloradan was in the building at the time. Jamie and Jay Thompson, a husband and wife, both work at the center. In an interview with Steamboat Springs radio station, Jamie said her husband was in there but made it out unharmed.
It's the clinic that my husband works in every day and knows these people. So it's just absolutely devastating to see this happen. And so far, we know a few people that didn't make it out. And these are just another one of those things that you never want to see happen, and it feels like we're seeing it more and more often, and this one really hit close to home.
Police say the shooter was armed with a rifle and handgun. So far, authorities have not identified the shooter or any of the victims. This morning, we are finally hearing from the police chief of the Uvalde, Texas school district where 19 students and 2 teachers were killed last week. Pedro Arredondo has faced criticism for making the decision not to breach the classroom and engage the shooter sooner. CNN questioned him about when he plans to release more information about his decisions that day.
We're not going to release anything. We have people in our community being buried, so we're going to be respectful.
Investigators said Arredondo has not been cooperating, but he denied that.
Also, we can't forget about this one. The 18-year-old accused of shooting and killing 10 black people at a Buffalo, New York supermarket is set to be arraigned today. A grand jury charged him with domestic terrorism motivated by hate and 10 counts of first-degree murder. So with all of these recent mass shootings, you might be wondering what's being done to protect you from the next one.
Denver 7's Jessica Crawford joins us. And Jessica, you got an inside look at how Denver police train to respond to these types of situations.
Yes, and these virtual trainings can feel very real. It helps officers feel like they're in the moment. There are hallways, there are people asking for help, and a real sense of urgency.
I need medics code 10. I got an officer down. Clear.
Here's a look at the Denver Police Department's virtual reality training. They can practice their responses to multiple different types of scenarios, from active shooters to scenes where they don't know what the problem could be. Much of this training is about shoot or don't shoot scenarios or de-escalation. Officers also work on their communication and body language. They decide when it's best to take cover or take some other kind of action. This is just one tool that DPD uses. They also train in person and in the classroom, but this virtual reality training helps give them a different perspective.
This, what we have here is a 7-sided or 6-sided machine where now we can almost be a 360. So it can be, we can involve more training, we can do more officers, more than one at once, and we can do a variety of different scenarios. It is filmed, so it doesn't look like a video game at all. It definitely looks more like a movie. But again, the way that it was filmed and filmed and filmed and filmed, and so it has all the different outcomes to it.
One of the most useful tools on this simulator is the ability to rewind, to do a replay, and to show the officer exactly how they can improve their approach for next time. I'm Jessica Crawford, Denver 7.
Thank you, Jessica. Today, a House committee does plan to vote on a package of gun control bills. The Protecting Our Kids Act would raise the legal age to buy a semi-automatic rifle from 18 to 21. It would also ban the manufacture, sale, or possession of large capacity magazines. The bill is expected to pass the House but fail in the Senate.
Law enforcement around the state will meet today to talk about how to get fentanyl off of our streets. A major concern, of course, is that people don't always know a substance they have contains fentanyl.
What's happening too often is someone gets sold what they think is a Xanax pill, but it's actually fentanyl, and they die. That's poisoning. And what we want to make sure is that all police departments, all sheriff departments have the tools they need to investigate these deaths.
The goal of the summit is to learn techniques to investigate and stop illegal fentanyl sales, poisonings, and deaths. The two-day conference will focus on many facets of the fentanyl problem. Colette Bordelon spoke with one of the prosecutors who's presenting at the conference about the new state law, Colette, that increases punishments for drug dealers pushing fentanyl.
Yeah, Nicole, I'm here at the Denver Art Museum where that summit is set to start. That bill, though, it makes the possession of 1 to 4 grams of fentanyl a felony charge here in Colorado. But as it was revised in the last few hours of the legislative session this year, lawmakers made it to where a defendant could go into a court of law and try to prove to a judge or a jury they didn't know what they had was fentanyl and could potentially get that charge dropped to a misdemeanor. Now, that law also allows prosecutors to give dealers an enhanced charge, a tool the district I talked with wants to make sure he's using appropriately. John Kellner of the 18th Judicial District says there will be growing pains with the new law because so many people have varying opinions on the different provisions of it. Kellner was part of a group of district attorneys who believe the law didn't go far enough and says next session he and other prosecutors plan on asking for revisions. Some of the changes he wants to see: turning possession of any amount of fentanyl into a felony, removing probation eligibility for low-level dealers whose product causes death, and reworking the Good Samaritan portion of the law, which allows someone to report an overdose without fear of legal action. But Kellner says the way the law is written, that could apply to dealers too. Now, as the bill was amended and changed, there's been an argument from those who oppose this legislation that it doesn't get to the root of the problems causing substance use disorder.
But to say that this update to the law, the fentanyl bill, perpetuates the war on drugs is just patently false, and it disregards really what the justice system of the 2020s looks like.
Since 2018, drug-related deaths in Denver County have increased year after year, peaking last year in 2021, when half of those deaths were fentanyl-related cases. Those numbers are from the Denver Medical Examiner's Office. Live in Denver, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
All right, thank you, Colette. This morning, Governor Polis will sign a bill designed to reduce air pollution. It offers grants to companies that reduce emissions, gives more money for electric bikes, and helps school districts convert buses to electric. Tonight is game 2 for the Avs in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, scoring blitz in game 1. 14 goals combined between the Avs and Oilers. And certainly we're hoping the Avs pull another one out at Ball Arena. It is unclear, though, whether or not Avs goalie Darcy Kuemper will play. He is still recovering from an upper body injury early in the second period Tuesday night. Head coach Jared Bednar said he knew Kuemper was hurting and told backup Pavel Francouz to be prepared to play. Who also filled in when Kuemper went out with an eye injury in the first round, and teammates don't think he'll miss a beat.
He's been outstanding for us all year. I don't think we have to change anything. We have the utmost confidence in him. He's a great team player, always trying to learn, always working hard on the details. We have tons of confidence in Frankie, so we're excited.
Yeah, puck drops again at Ball Arena tonight at 6.
If you're dreaming of the golf cart lifestyle, you may have to put it off a little longer. Why more Americans are delaying retirement.
You might be cringing when you fill up with gas in Colorado. Be thankful we don't live in California, though, where you'll find the most jaw-dropping prices across the country.